Hello,
Hi.
and welcome to yet another dimension.
Is that really how we're starting this?
That's how we're going to start it.
All
And
right.
we're going to be reviewing
The Suicide Squad.
not Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad. Just to make things clear.
Yeah, in case you were confused
Yes.
about how this movie, ties into other DC movies. They made it clear
The DC movies.
by
You forgot the DC.
by putting a "the" at the front of Suicide Squad. So no confusion. I hate when they do this.
Oh, we're going to start off like this, okay.
This is the first thing I got to talk about
Okay.
because the first thing I knew about this movie, and I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the name, and I hate when they do this with any property like Super Smash Brothers.
The Super Smash
Yes,
Brothers. That's
or
the
like
next
Wii
one.
U.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're just like, oh, it's the same. It's a new game, same name. I
It's
hate
terrible.
that. I hate when, and they don't just do it with video games. They do it with movies too. This is a clear example
Mm-hmm.
of it. This is it's like a pseudo sequel to a movie that came out in 2016. This is not like a 40-year later reboot.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that.
Give it a subtitle. Suicide Squad, whatever.
B Squad, something like that.
Yes,
See?
anything. Give it just a little subtitle.
Starfish.
Yes, Project Starfish. They probably didn't want to give away Starro
Oh,
that we just did.
yeah. Whatever.
But yeah, give it a name, man. Just give it a different. I don't know. That's the first thing I hated.
Well, if I actually cared about it, maybe I'll care about it more, but I always hate that as well. I always think it's so silly that people just, I guess they just want to forget about that entirely. Like the first one, because I heard it's terrible. I didn't see it.
So.
Is it one of the worst superhero movies you think?
Oh, it's definitely. I mean, it's one of the worst. But you know what? At the end of the day, I don't think it's even especially bad, so that it's good. It's not like Batman and Robin, where you watch
man.
and it's so
That's a
bad.
classic.
But we should watch that. Like finish it. We watched part of it, half of it.
Yeah.
We gotta finish it.
I gotta put that in doses. I can't watch the whole thing.
It's fucking amazing. But like, it's not even like Batman and Robin, where it's this train wreck that's hilarious to watch. It's more just it's one of those empty movies, that you just feel like, wow, I wasted 2 hours of my life watching this. Just empty. It's PG-13, which I think doesn't suit the nature of the characters that they were going for. I think it was originally rated R, or was meant to be rated R, and they changed it to PG-13.
So more people go see it and go see it.
So more people go see it.
You gotta make a good movie first.
Well, the thing is, like, that year, it's funny because Deadpool came out that year, and that was like the highest grossing R-rated movie.
Oh, it came out
all
earlier
time.
that year, right?
It was 2016. Yeah, it was like February.
Yeah.
It had a weird like release time. But yeah, I think like they were like, wow, we really fucked up with that one. But
yeah, they didn't.
And I think they tried to make up for lost time with the Suicide Squad. I think in a lot of ways it does undo the first movie. I don't know if there's a lot of continuity either, which I think helps because the first movie was just pretty bad. But I mean, Rick Flag and Harley Quinn are still in this one.
Oh, Rick Flag was in the original?
Yep, and Captain Boomerang. They all were in that first one there. So there is like a dynamic that's established between them. I don't know where in the timeline of the DC extended universe this takes place because it doesn't feel like a universe anymore. That's fine. I don't care anymore. It's killed in my mind.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but the first Suicide Squad, just an empty experience. I was going to try to watch it again before this new one came out. I don't really care about the Suicide Squad at all. Like I don't have anything against them. They were never like a big thing to me that I cared about. I cared more about like the main Justice League characters and like the Legion of Doom, which is like the anti-Justice League, like Lex Luthor's villain team.
Oh, so the villain team.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm gonna pick a villain team, those are ones I cared about a lot more. And then Suicide Squad got a lot more popular after I stopped like reading comics for a while. So I wasn't around for their like research and popularity in like the 2010s and then before the movie. So the first one, don't even watch
it. This replaced the original one because it's a very similar movie, right?
Yeah.
Just going on a mission, a suicide mission. So basically the same. It's just different characters. And in the original one, I don't really know all the characters anyways. Except for Will Smith's character because he's a Batman villain. It was
Deadshot.
Yeah. Deathstroke. Wait, is Deathstroke?
Deathstroke and Deadshot are different.
Yeah, I get those confused. So that's like,
lie.
and of course Harley Quinn. They're gonna have Harley Quinn in it. So yeah, coming in this, I mean, it's another DC movie. I don't know much about DC, but I mean, it's directed by James Gunn. He's a good director. He directed Guardians of the Galaxy. He wrote Dawn of the Dead. Some other movies. I mean, he wrote Scooby Doo back in the day, so it's pretty funny. Slither is another great movie he wrote. So I'm expecting it to be quality. And I didn't really look at the trailers. Didn't know anything about it. So
Me neither.
I was expecting it to be at least decent. But what do you think of it?
Like a surface level of this movie?
Yeah. Would you recommend people go see it?
Actually,
The Suicide Squad.
So, The Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
I was surprised. This is a great movie.
Uh-huh.
I honestly thought I was entertained the whole time. I thought it was just a solid. It doesn't have anything in it that to me I thought it was lacking. It was just a solid movie. I don't think it's not like amazing. I wouldn't make
it's not The Dark Knight, of course.
No, but it's just a really, really, it's hard. I think of something that I think is a big criticism of it. I think a lot of what it did, a lot of its choices, like the characters, and they kill off a lot of characters. Spoiler alert, not a lot of people make it out of this movie alive. I like that.
Yeah.
I really like when they take characters and just murder them. And it makes their deaths more impactful. You know, if somebody's finally dead, there's no coming back from that. I think that makes their impact in the movie a lot more heavy. And this movie's full of that. It's hilarious, I thought. Which I guess James Gunn, he's kind of good with humor. That's kind of his thing. And creating a team dynamic, which he did with Guardians. And ironically, I always thought Suicide Squad, not The Suicide Squad, A Suicide Squad from 2016. I thought that was trying to be Guardians for DC.
Okay.
And it didn't work. Yeah. And actually, I think what happened was there was a lot of studio intervention. I think I've read this before, that there was like a cut of Suicide Squad, and after Batman v Superman came out, there were reshoots for Suicide Squad.
Why do they think this is gonna work?
Because they thought Batman v Superman was too gritty. So they went in, did some reshoots of scenes, and added scenes that were like trying to create this character dynamic that didn't fit into the narrative at all.
It's more violent. It makes more sense to be gritty in a Suicide Squad movie. Right? It does. And even I don't even know about the Suicide Squad, but it makes sense.
Yeah. And even if, like, okay, you're not going to make it like James Gunn did, where it's violent, but still campy, and it's like, it's both, and I think he did it really well, but you can't insert James Gunn's formula into a movie by David Ayer while he's mostly shot it, wrote it, and filmed it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just go in and change a movie halfway through. This is what happened with Justice League 2, and that's why it was so goddamn awful. Like, they tried to
the original cut.
Yeah, the theatrical cut of Justice League.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, we don't know anything about that. No, we actually always have a fight about.
You need to stay out of the kitchen.
No, you go in the kitchen when I'm in the kitchen.
Because when you're making food, it makes me hungry. Like, what do you? It's a regular human bodily functions.
I hate this human being. His name's Jeremy Cook. He comes home at like 4:00 and waits till like 6:00 when I'm in the kitchen to go. Or if it's like I go do something and it's like 7:00, guess when he's eating dinner? 7:00 when I'm eating dinner.
That's the appropriate time to go get something to eat, you know?
The Suicide Squad.
If you just start making me food.
Suicide Squad.
Okay, so we'll go back to
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Too many cooks in the kitchen with the first one. So this one was a singular vision, clearly. Written and directed by James Gunn. Feels like James Gunn, and obviously that paid off. I think the R rating in The Suicide Squad pays off. Like, that is probably what it always should have been. It should have been rated R. Overall, like, it was great. Did you agree, or what did you think of it?
I thought it was great as well, and I also like this more than Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't like Guardians of the Galaxy that much. They're good movies, but I think they're pretty overblown. And what I like about this, I've always liked the anti-hero story, and also it's more violent. I wouldn't say it's more mature, but it's like grittier. I like that kind of stuff. And I like the concept of the Suicide Squad, where they take villains and they just put them out to like the most dangerous missions. I've always liked that. It's similar to, like, I'm thinking Mass Effect 2, where it's a suicide mission. And you like meet a whole bunch of different cool characters. And I also, yeah, like you said, it feels like a one singular vision. It's actually funny. It's well written by James Gunn. Also, I ended up liking the characters at the end of the day. I had never heard of these characters before. Harley Quinn, of course, I've heard of her. But all the other characters, they're great. King Shark, I loved him.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the Groot of the team.
Yeah,
he's kind of like, he doesn't just say, I am Groot, but he's kind of like very simple-minded in terms of like what he's doing. He's very powerful. But I like him more than Groot. That's all I want to say.
He does try to eat people, so that was funny.
That's why I think he's like a more like terrifying Groot.
Yeah.
And like he eats people, and like he just looks like he's just having fun. Everything's all so serious, but
yeah,
I really like that character. The rat girl, I'm not sure.
Ratcatcher, yeah. So
yeah, that's her name. Okay.
I've heard of Ratcatcher, and but I don't know a lot about him, the original one, which I guess was like her dad in this one.
Oh, okay.
I know I think he's like a Batman villain actually. Yeah. And like in Arkham Asylum, you know how you get those like little collector tapes and you can find out like villain profiles. One of them was for that Ratcatcher guy. I didn't really know a lot about him.
Oh, okay.
Besides that,
it's a Batman
villain.
Okay.
At least the father, and then this is his daughter. In this movie, he just inherited his rat controlling technology. That's a terrifying power. But yeah, let's just get into spoilers. Overall, though, you did think it was great.
Yeah, it was great. I like it better than Guardians of the Galaxy, and this is one of my favorite DC movies now. I like the style of movie they made. It's not too serious, but it still has like the violent nature of it. I like
super violent.
Yeah, I love gory movies. I love horror, and it was actually really funny. And they made me like the characters, and I like the action was good. It's not a lot. I mean, I also like the visuals and the style of it. So I mean, there's some parts where it's like it's okay, but it was a good movie.
Oh yeah,
I think everybody should go see it. Buy HBO Max maybe, or just go see it.
Go in the theater, but yeah, definitely a movie that you should see. Don't skip it.
Yeah. Even if you don't like superhero movies.
Yeah, this is not a very superhero-y movie.
I think that's why I like it so much.
Yeah. No, I do too. And you know what? I like movies about superheroes or superhero characters that are not the traditional superhero movie. I'm still waiting on the A24 superhero movie to come out.
I can't wait.
But when it does, I think it'll be great.
Out.
You know, I like those kind of like different takes on. I think the best superhero
version
movies
of like the action movie.
Yeah.
Superhero movie.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, definitely see the Suicide Squad at some point. But it's
the
definitely
Suicide Squad.
one of my favorite movies that came out this year so far. For sure.
Do you think it's better than what other superhero? This is another superhero movie that came out. I'm not counting Justice
the other
League.
one, Black Widow, came out this year.
Do you think it's better than that?
Better than Black Widow? I do.
Yeah.
And you know what? I thought Black Widow was really good, and I think
I kind of just forgot about it.
It's still really Marvel-y, I think is why. It's still very much a Marvel movie with the Marvel tone. It did feel like they are going into their own direction with a lot of the individual movies now, which I like. And I hope that they continue to do that, but there's still the overarching Marvel influence. This movie there was no other movie's influence.
I really like that.
Yeah, suffocating this movie. This was James Gunn's movie. It's very self-contained. There's characters from the first Suicide Squad, but I don't know where in the continuity this is. I don't know if Birds of Prey is part of the continuity. Nothing seems to make sense with their continuity anymore.
I haven't seen those movies. I haven't seen the Birds of Prey or this first Suicide Squad. So
Birds of Prey actually kind of reminds me of the James Gunn movie.
Maybe I should watch it then.
Yeah, it's more stylized. It's not very, and the action I thought was really good. I don't think the dialogue is very good. The team didn't really work for me, but for overall, the Birds of Prey movie is pretty good. Okay. Not as good as the Suicide Squad, but it was pretty good.
You want to get into spoilers then?
Spoilers. We're gonna get into spoilers because I have a lot to talk about with this funny ass opening scene.
Oh yeah.
So like you open up, there's like a mission for the Suicide Squad, and they're kind of all these new characters we don't really know, except for Harley and Captain Boomerang from the first one or whatever, right? And there's this weird ass weasel thing,
man,
which is the most. You gotta put that up on the screen when we're talking about this. Here. It is the most horrifying like CGI I've seen in a long time.
That's when CGI works.
Yeah, and you know why it works is because you're meant to be uncomfortable by the way this thing looks. It just looks
eyes, man. It's like about to pop out. You don't know if you don't know if it's what it is. It's like it's a weasel, but it's like a humanoid weasel.
Yeah, it's like this weird
does it have powers or?
Yeah, what does it do? And then it's funny, the characters in the movie. I guess there's somebody named Blackguard, played by Pete Davidson from SNL. He was like, what is this thing? Is it a dog? Is it a werewolf? They were all like, what is this thing? Because it's so ugly. Because
everybody's thinking that too.
Yeah,
it just stands out. It was just weird.
I'm so glad that they knew that the thing was gonna look that ugly when they wrote the movie, and they definitely accomplished the goal. It makes you unsettled just to look at it.
Just thinking about it,
it's nightmare fuel.
You know what? I think I think it'd be appropriate to be in something encourage the collie dog. I feel like it I don't know. It makes me think of that what would be in that type of show. I don't know. I like it. It was creepy.
It was creepy. It was
very surprising to see that. I don't know why.
It was because it just something about it just makes you uncomfortable, you know.
So it's just a whole bunch of expendable characters in the beginning.
Oh yeah, they're all. I'd never heard of any of them. I never heard of Weasel.
I think that was appropriate. I guess.
Yeah,
for what happens.
Because most of them die right then and there, and I was surprised. But I think I read an article or it said something about how most of the characters in the movie would be expendable like that, like they would die. And it's not just at the very beginning where everybody dies. It's throughout. Yeah. Where everybody gets killed in really, really nasty ways sometimes.
The guy that his arms attach. What's his name? TDK?
Yeah, TDK, the detachable kid.
And his arms just fell. It was so funny. His arms just floating and he just hitting the enemy. It was hilarious.
So yeah, let's talk about the different kinds of characters they had, because some of the power sets were hilarious. TDK detaches his arms and they float in air and they smack people. There's Polka Dot Man, who
he's part of the main squad, I guess.
Yeah,
the squad that survives though.
After the squad, the beginning, whatever they're called, when they get all murdered except for Harley and Rick Flag, then they send in a B team, and then you learn kind of the backstory of the B team and where they came from, and it introduces Idris Elba's Bloodsport, who is basically the main character of the movie.
I thought he was great.
He was great. Yeah, Idris Elba, I love everything he's in.
Yeah, he does really well in everything he's in.
Yeah. So I
liked his powers. I don't know what he was using, his powers.
Yeah, his weapons.
It was so awesome. I love when you can it's like a mechanical gun where you can it changes form. I always like that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's so cool, and his helmet was cool. I don't know. I liked his look. And I guess he's trying to become a leader.
Yeah.
So what were you about to say before I interrupted?
I don't remember. But overall, yeah, he was. I think he was kind of taking over the role of Deadshot from the first movie, who was also a main character, very similar power sets where they basically just are weapons masters, that sort of thing. Yeah. But yeah, his look was great. I thought the look of everybody was great. For the most part.
Even Polka Dot Man.
I love that. I like how it looked because it didn't look right.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a funny character.
It looked ridiculous.
Make sense. Yeah. And in the end, I actually like the character. Yeah. And his powers is kind of horrifying, and he sees his mother in everything.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
He hated his mom because his mom experimented on him and made him the Polka Dot Man.
Yeah, I don't know how you make. I thought polka dots was an abstract concept. I don't know how you actually make that a power, but his mom turned into a polka dot man. Now he sees her everywhere.
That was weird.
That was so creepy.
That was really creepy. Yeah, this movie.
You just gotta see it.
It makes you cringe in the best ways, I think.
Yeah, in a good way, a good cringe.
Yeah, yeah. So I love different characters' power sets, and the B Squad, whatever you want to call them, when they finally show up, they're the main characters in the movie, I would essentially say. So King Shark,
Bait and Switch,
Ratcatcher, Bloodsport, and Peacemaker, John Cena's character.
Oh yeah, John Cena's character. Let's talk about him.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hate John Cena because he ruined wrestling. I know that's a personal thing. I don't like John Cena at all. I liked him when he originally came out. So every time I see him, it makes me mad. But in this movie, he was pretty funny. His character was pretty funny. in some areas. He was definitely the weakest character though.
That's what I thought too.
Out of all of them, he was just kind of like the douchebag. Like, oh, do everything right. Kind of like Captain America if he was like a complete douchebag. Which Captain America, whatever. So it's kind of like that. I think this might be like a parody of it. I don't ever heard of Peacemaker.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Look, I am a DC nerd.
Uh-huh.
These are mine.
That is his.
I've never heard of half the characters in this movie.
Mm-hmm. And you said they're gonna make a show about him.
They're making this. That's why. So there is a post-credit scene too. There's a whole altercation. We think Peacemaker is dead. He's still alive. But yes, there's gonna be an HBO Max spin-off show. It was already in development before this movie came out.
You know why? Not because John Cena. He's trying to be the next The Rock.
He really is.
Or Dwayne Johnson. He's trying to be. Yeah, he sucks. Anyways, I think he was funny in some areas, but he was definitely the weakest character to me.
It's good dialogue, you know.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I think anybody could have done that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, any muscle-bound guy. But yeah, I mean, he was decent in it.
He was decent, but definitely not stand out enough to get his own show.
That's what makes me mad.
I
and it's only because it's John Cena. So you want to talk about any other characters?
Yeah, you know, I still love Harley from the last one. I'm not a big fan of Harley overall. I'm really not.
I'm not either. That's why I'm like, and when her scenes is like, she's okay to me.
See, I don't like Harley, but I do like Margot Robbie's Harley a lot.
She does well.
I think she plays that role really well. And I did like her. I love Bloodsport, I would call him the main character.
He is.
Just kind of like a pissed off, not a bad guy, and he knows he's a bad guy and doesn't want to be a good guy.
Yes, that's honest. I like the interaction with him and his daughter.
Yeah,
because I was like, oh man,
another family story.
He has a daughter.
They start telling each other to fuck off.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I like this dynamic. I like this. But he at first he's a terrible guy. Like he realizes that he's like, you gotta stay away from me. I like that. That was real. He's a villain. He's a bad person. He's in jail. But at the end, he turns to like a leader, good and something maybe his daughter can follow, like a role model, and that felt natural. Not at the beginning where he's just I'm a good guy throughout. Yeah, it's boring. Yeah, it's no growth.
Yeah, really. There's no growth. And
I think of somebody from earlier this year, certain young man, certain Cole Young, where doesn't he have a daughter and family? I can never bring. Okay, well, I'll put it to rest. But I hate Cole. But go ahead. Any other?
We have not had like one video in months.
Not giving it up, okay? Fuck Cole.
Where you did not bring up Mortal Kombat 2021, the movie.
I'll stop talking about it once 2022 hits. Okay.
We need to let this go. We need to move forward and just forget that movie happened.
It's Warner Brothers. It's all connected. Just like how Zack Snyder is the executive producer. This is a Zack Snyder review channel.
It really is.
It stays like that. So what else do you want to talk about?
So
any other more characters, or you want to move on to the plot?
I'll go with characters, but I do think the plot's pretty minimal, but it works.
I don't like plot. I mean, I don't care about plot as much as characters, so I'm good on that.
James Gunn's is more character than plot. I expected that. So I thought it worked really well, though, for what it was. I thought it was interesting, a lot of cool twists, and the way they manipulated time. They split the team up. They would show things that happened before. I don't always love non-linear storytelling, but I thought this worked really well. It wasn't too jarring or anything.
And it made it clear.
Yeah, everything still felt very continuous and fluid.
One thing I would like to note, I like how they would use the titles in the environment.
I was going to say that.
That is one of my favorite parts. I love it when they do that.
Like on screen, one part Harley's in like a hole in the ground, and like the roots of like a tree form like they say like meanwhile Harley or something, right? And they did that throughout the movie. They're like it was smoke, fire, all kinds of stuff, but they would tell you kind of what's going on in a scene, like indicate it's a chapter. That was really cool.
Instead of I think Black Widow, they would just have the white text. Oh, we're in Russia or something. It
would just tell you where you're at location wise.
It's boring. Yeah. In this movie, it's very stylish. I like it, and it's very memorable. It makes you want to actually watch it again for the style of it, because it's a superhero movie. I want style.
Yeah, and this definitely has it. I think. Yeah.
So the plot, so it's kind of bare bones, but I think it works for me.
Yeah, they know they're told that they're going by Amanda Waller, who I forgot to mention. I love Amanda Waller in this movie and in the first one. I love Viola Davis as Amanda
she
Waller.
was this is the first time I've seen this character, I think. And
she was in the
good.
Justice League show.
See, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, which I don't ever think there's been a more perfect casting for like a superhero type character than
Really?
Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. Like it's like a dream casting.
Really?
So, oh yeah, 100%. So it worked really well, and she sends the Suicide Squad to destroy the traces of this thing called Project Starfish. As soon as they said that, I was like, oh man, I hope it's Starro, who is like the first villain that the Justice League fight, and he's like this alien starfish who
that's so weird.
Has like little
starfish
versions of himself, like children, attached to people's faces and controls them in like a hive mind.
There's nothing like I like more than hive minds when something's like an organism comes from outer space and starts controlling, taking over, like the invasion of the body snatchers. You ever heard of that?
Yeah,
kind of reminded me of that. I love that stuff, so I was like, yes, it gets the movie gets points for that. And you said you didn't like this how the starfish what's his name, Starro?
Starro. Yeah.
You didn't like how it looked?
I think just in context, I think he looked okay, like his design and everything, but like it didn't look like he fit the world. I mean, I guess he is supposed to be an extraterrestrial.
Yeah, I think that's why it worked for me. I liked how it looked, and I think it's just because it looked creepy, and it just looked out of place. It's like it just looked disgusting.
It did.
Yeah, and starfish in general are kind of creepy if you think about it. Like the underside of it, it has like a hole.
Stick to stuff.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah, everything oceanic is a little
it's
creepy to me. Yeah.
But I like that villain. It was cool.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I can't believe he was introduced in this movie when they've had a Justice League movie. And rather than have like Starro the Conqueror or anything, I guess it wouldn't have worked in Zack Snyder's. But like they've just picked Steppenwolf as like a villain. This is like a perfect example when you could have had a really cool iconic villain in a movie.
You see, I definitely would have rather have that than what was it, Steppenwolf? Yeah.
Steppenwolf, yeah. I mean,
but I don't know.
Kind of worked, but overall, like I think Starro's is a cooler villain. He's more like, a bigger threat.
There's no planning behind it. It's a mess, but we already know all of that. Yeah. They're not Marvel.
No,
obviously.
No, they had there was no blueprint.
Yeah.
So I love seeing Starro. Kind of geeked out on seeing that, and overall, just the plot. They eventually kill him. They stop him from taking over this city, which was already like having a civil war of sorts going on, which is an interesting B story, I guess.
So eventually, Harley gets captured by the enemy, the local government forces, and then she kind of like falls in love with the guy. Like she falls with him. Like, what is going on with this? I was like, I don't know about this. And then he tells her about the plan, and then she shoots him.
Yeah, I like that.
That was funny. It saved it for me.
Subversion of expectations.
Yeah, I was like, what is this?
Yeah,
I'm like, Harley is not acting like herself. And then she shoots him and kills him. He's like, I have terrible like past with boyfriends. And you already know what you're talking about. It's like, I see a red flag and you killed children. I thought it was good.
Yeah, that was good. That was a really great scene. This movie constantly subverts your expectations, I think, in ways that I thought really worked. So, I think plot overall, pretty good. It's pretty solid. It's definitely character focused still, which worked for me. There's nothing it's pretty simple. You could, write the plot out on like one page and be done with it.
I like it.
Yeah. Trying to think of anything else that really sticks out. The style overall is really good. Honestly, I didn't expect this to be a good movie. I didn't expect to like it, but I do like James Gunn. He's good track record. I think it's just another good James Gunn movie, maybe even his best movie yet. And honestly, one of the best.
I think so. Maybe Slither. I like Slither.
I
haven't seen it in a long time. It stars I forgot the guy with the long. He's older. Oh, it's the guy from The Walking Dead. I don't know his name. It's the older brother.
Lincoln.
He's the older guy with the longer hair in this movie.
Oh, Michael Rooker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It stars him, and I like that movie a lot. But maybe that and this is probably my favorite movie by him now. So, and also I like the scene where they're sneaking into the camp and they like brutally murder everybody, and they realize it's it's the good guys.
Yeah, they
kill everybody.
See, again, like subversive expectations.
Yeah.
And they don't let anybody off the hook because they are still villains, which I thought was really funny. Yeah.
I mean, there's not much to talk about. It was just a good quality movie.
Very solid movie. What would you give it out of 10, do you think?
So, it's not a masterpiece. It's not in terms of action and all that. It was really funny. I'll give it a solid 8.
That's what I was going to say.
I was thinking 8.
Out of 10.
If I watch it again, it still holds up. Maybe even a 9. It's one of the better superhero movies. Yeah. It's my type of superhero movies. It's not connected to a whole bunch of crap. It's funny, entertaining, gory, bloody. I like where it's going with. It's more gory because these characters are killers.
Yeah,
I want to see killing. Yeah, bloody killing. Just like how in Black Widow, I want to see that stuff.
Yeah, there was
that's what they are.
Couple gritty scenes in Black Widow.
See, I was surprised by.
Where she breaks her face on the table and stuff.
Oh, yeah, see, I like that. Yeah.
See, I like stuff like that. Mm. And
I guess I just like that style of movie more.
They can't do rated R because it's Disney.
You see,
that is a limit, and that's something that DC.
Not everything has to be rated R.
Yeah, DC has the advantage, you know, in that regard. I mean, they probably still keep Deadpool rated R. I hope. But yeah,
that would be such a mistake if. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I hope they do. But clearly, this is another indication. It's just sometimes like R rating suits the character better. You know, comics became more and more gritty after like the 80s.
Spawn.
Yeah, Spawn, like Deadpool. Frank Miller stuff like Dark Knight Returns, which I have in my room, and Watchmen. They kind of set the tone, and we're like, you know, this doesn't have to be campy and bright colors. It can be intense. You know, so.
What's your rating for this? You said 8?
8. I still think an 8.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think like you said, it's not a masterpiece. It's memorable, very memorable. And I don't think it's like the greatest movie of all time or anything. But honestly, as a superhero movie, it's fun. It's super violent, and I could definitely see myself just watching this again.
Yeah,
I had a great time watching it. So yeah,
I would rather watch this over the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think this one is a lot better, and I think it's because
even the first one isn't the first one supposed to be considered a better one or the second one?
I think the first one's the best Guardians.
You think it's better than that?
I do. Yeah, I think this one is better than the Guardians because you know what? A lot of the same things that work about Guardians are present in this one, and then there's more. There's more style, and it's free of the Marvel. I thought Guardians was the most unique Marvel movie at the time that it came out.
Yeah, it came out 2014.
Yeah.
So at the time, I think it was like, oh wow, something different.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't seen it in a long time. I have to watch it again.
I do love Guardians. I love the first Guardians a lot. I think the second one is okay. I think the first Guardians of the Galaxy is a great movie. I think it did set kind of the tone for what Marvel was at the time, but it was new.
It was a shift,
and it was different. So I do appreciate it, and I definitely think though the Suicide Squad, it's like what James Gunn always wished he probably could have done with Guardians. You know, he did that same kind of thing. They were anti-heroes in Guardians. They were not like good people.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the thing too. A lot of them were convicts in a prison.
That's why I thought it'd be more appropriate to be more violent.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Disney,
Disney has its ways, so I bet it's probably the reason that Guardians wasn't as good as it could have been. I think this is definitely more realized vision, and I don't know, I hope Disney realizes, I know they want to get the PG-13 rating all the time,
that money.
But sometimes you're still going to get the money with this R rating.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I looked it up. This is the highest grossing, I think, R-rated movie since the pandemic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is the highest rated at the box office. So people are going to see it.
Yeah. I believe that. Yeah.
So there you have it. Good movie. Good superhero movie. Another good DC movie.
It's the second one this year.
Well, I guess Justice League came out 2017, technically. But
yeah,
it's still another. I mean, it's a good track record so far.
Yeah, it was.
Hopefully
they
keep it up. And so go see the Suicide Squad.
And don't ever watch Suicide Squad.
I'm glad I didn't watch it. So that was the review. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. And until then, see you in the next dimension.